Hey guys, what is up? What is good? What is Gucci? It's your girl Paige Christie. This is my natural hair, by the way. A lot of people don't actually get to see my natural hair, but I've been growing my dreads for like, I don't know, 2 years now? Two?
Longer than that, isn't it?
No, 2.5 years. Theodore was like one, and he's like three. So yeah, 2.5 years. I've been growing my hair for about 2.5 years, and this is the length we're at. We started off looking like Coolio, and we look like this. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk to you guys about. Today's episode of the Paige Christie Show is going to be episode 0. This is not the first episode of the Paige Christie Show. The reason being, we have been having so many technical difficulties, and that is the reason that we have not had an episode for you on the date specified. I think I said we should have had the first episode on the 4th of April, but that was not able to happen purely because I recorded the episode 4 times, and 4 separate times we had various different issues. We've got a whole new studio, whole new equipment. We're just getting used to everything, and I just feel like I shouldn't have put such hard stipulations on myself to make sure that I get the episode out by a certain date when I'm still new to this. I'm not true to this. So with that in mind, just know that today's episode, the audio, specifically my audio, my husband sounds fine, but my audio doesn't sound its best. So I am reluctant to call it the first episode of the Paige Christie Show. So with that being said, keep that in mind. Don't hate on me. Don't leave me a billion fucking comments telling me that my audio shit, because I know, I'm aware. And hopefully by the next episode, you guys will hear me beautifully loud and clear, as I will be able to get some new equipment and some new bits and bobs to hopefully make this work. But yeah, this is kind of the vibe. So it's just kind of like, the vibes of what we're going to be getting into. So stay tuned and keep it locked for the rest of the episode of The Paige Christie Show.
She was born where the rain is in UK streets. Brick by brick, she learned what it means to believe. From her mama's kitchen table with a notebook and a dream that wasn't strong, her vision clear, buried in every scene. A little girl with stories she was aching to tell. She painted her own path, broke free from the shell. In her words that too quiet, she be writing sound. Now her words echo loudly.
We drink it, ooh, yeah, yeah.
Hi guys, what is up? What is good? What is Gucci? It is your girl Paige Christie, and welcome to the very first episode of the Paige Christie Show. Okay, so I have attempted to record this episode like literally 3 times. So this is the 4th time. A 4th time is a charm for me. First of all, I'm born on the 4th of September, which is the same day as Beyonce. Not saying anything, but you've never seen us in the same room together. And also, when I was learning to drive, I actually passed my driving test after the 4th go. So I am hoping that this time, the 4th time of trying to record this first episode, is going to go smoothly, because that was like literally the main reason that this episode didn't come out last weekend as expected. But in order to make all of that work, I had to enlist some help, because yes, I might be a Virgo and I might want to do things all by myself.
Controlling.
Extremely controlling, very anal, don't like to give anyone or relinquish any control in any capacity. But I had to enlist the help of my husband. My beautiful husband is now going to be helping me with my podcast show. So welcome my husband, Gareth.
Helping? I'm the star of the fucking show. I don't know what you're on about.
Oh, we're swearing already. Okay, demonetization.
So, get people comfortable.
So as a quick introduction as to what the Paige Christie Show is just going to be all about, just to get you guys like clued into what we're doing over here, this is going to be like your regular weekly rundown of everything that has been going on social media, my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions, my first glances, my first looks. So this is not going to be a place where you're going to get like really detailed video essay style videos, the kind of videos it is that you guys have come to expect from me on my main channel. Over here, we're just going to have a little bit more of a relax, a little bit more of a kiki, a little bit more of a chilled out experience. And you could play me in the background while you're doing your washing, while you're smoking some bud, while you're drinking some tea, and whatever it is that you like to do in your spare time. I will be here for you once a week, and hopefully eventually bump it up to more than once a week. So without further ado, I feel like we should get into the first topic. So what is on the roster for today?
So today. Let's bring up this list. Ooh. Now, I'm pretty bad at names, so I think, is it Chappel Roan?
Chappel Roan.
Chappel Roan.
Do you know who Chappel Roan is?
Isn't that Pink Pony Club?
I love that song. That's literally my favourite one.
I only know that because you asked me that time in the car when I'm driving back from Birmingham, and like you were like, "Oh my god, how do you know this song?"
It's literally the only Chappel Roan song that I'm hugely a fan of.
Well, yeah, because it's like, you know, mainstream. That's the only song that really.
Well, no, because she was really famous for that Hot to Go song, and that's how I was first introduced to her. One of my influencer friends was like, have you heard of Chappel Roan and this song called Hot to Go? You know, that Hottoto, that song.
Oh, is that her?
Yes, that's her.
That sounds more poppy than this.
And I wasn't a big fan. But then when I heard that, oh, look what you've done, your big pony girl. So I'm thinking, I just love her. I think her vibe is just awesome. But she has actually found herself in quite a bit of controversy recently.
Oh.
So basically, Chappel Roan has been getting into trouble quite a lot with the general public. And I remember this all started over a situation on the red carpet. So Chappel Roan was basically on a red carpet. I think it was for the Grammys, possibly, or maybe like another music event of some kind. And she was on the red carpet. And as you guys know, when you walk the red carpet, you have like a bunch of photographers who are stood all on the bleachers, trying to take photographs and all of that kind of stuff. And I think one of the photographers was like literally directing Chappel Roan to like, you know, move in a certain way, act in a certain way. And basically she was like, hey, you don't get to tell me what to do. Like, shut the fuck up. And then a lot of people found this really annoying because they felt like Chappel Roan should have been, I guess, a little bit more humble of the opportunity, because a lot of people don't realize that Chappel Roan had pretty much gained popularity a lot through TikTok. She was like a TikTok influencer, documented her journey in music and all of that kind of stuff. She generated all of her fans, and it was really the virality that TikTok can actually provide people that made her catapult into this new level of stardom, made her gain friends like Olivia Rodrigo. I think she's friends with the very talented Sabrina Carpenter. So that's what really made her catapult into fame. So when this happened on the red carpet, a lot of people felt like she needed to be humbled.
Like, stay in her lane kind of thing.
Very much stay in her lane.
Move this the right way, please. You need a little lead. I gotta shut the f up. She missed the spot.
You shut the
Hey! Yeah. Yo. Your pulse is home.
Chappel!
But that's the thing these days. Most people that become famous and get their kickstart off TikTok.
It's like
What was the app called back in the day? Vine.
Vine.
Vine was like well, it is TikTok, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I
It's
mean,
basically
yeah.
the same thing.
It's the same
And that's how
formula.
most people got famous back in the day. It was Vine. I mean, like Logan Paul and Jake Paul started on Vine. Now he's wrestling in WrestleMania. Like,
But this is the thing. Back in the day when the Vine, I'm going off script here. But back in the day when the Vine influencers were like moving over from Vine over to YouTube because the application was closing down, a lot of them had the ability to be able to translate the TikTok influence into YouTube influence and monetize off it. We had Gabby Hanna, we had the Paul brothers, we had Drew Gooden, and a bunch of other influencers who were able to market themselves and come over here. But for some bizarre reason, the influencers on TikTok are really struggling to be able to make that kind of connection with their audience in long form content.
you know why?
Why?
Because TikTok's not closed.
What do you mean?
The only time they managed to migrate is when Vine shut.
Yes.
Like, they had a bit of a notoriety on YouTube, but the real migration was when Vine shut down. They had nowhere to go.
So the people who were fans of them had to follow them.
Had to follow her. TikTok's still alive and kicking. It's like, why would I go subscribe to you on YouTube when you're right here?
Yeah.
And also, the generation that caters to that TikTok caters to, all want 60-second videos. They don't want to sit down for the 30 minutes and watch Jake Paul and Logan Paul run around the forest.
I was under the assumption that it was a situation where these people couldn't translate their content, their music, or whatever it is that they were promoting into long form content. Like, they just couldn't. And I think that on YouTube, one of the good things about YouTube is that us as influencers, as content creators, we are able to create somewhat of a parasocial relationship by having these long form videos, because a lot of people feel as if they know me, they know my kids, they know our family.
People think they know us too much.
This was crazy. It's a little bit too much.
Tell me, right?
Yeah, but remember that one woman who was like messaging my mom?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was like, oh my God, Mama Pansy.
Wasn't there that one time that your mum got stopped by someone?
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, I'll get Paige to say hi to you.
Yes.
You remember that
Yes,
time?
and the mum-
Like, can you say hi to this random person on your video? Like, what? It was insane. It was insane.
Hospital or something, or train station?
No, that was the second time when my brother was going into hospital for his heart surgery. One of the nurses that was looking after him was a fan of the show as well.
That's it, I remember now, yeah.
Yeah, and like stuff like that happens all the time. But yeah, I just thought it was a situation where these influencers just couldn't translate that parasocial relationship.
Yeah, and I feel like it is that, but also I think TikTok itself is a bigger platform than what Vine ever was.
Yeah.
In the sense that there is a section for music, there is a section for shops, there's a section for everything, whereas Vine was literally, was it 60 seconds?
Yeah, it was 60 seconds.
60-second videos, and that's all they ever did. They never got past that 60-second point.
Yeah.
Whereas TikTok started off that
I think you can do like 10 minutes now.
on TikTok.
Yeah,
Exactly.
People on there who are doing like what they're calling documentaries, where it's like
Documentary.
documentaries. I think it's a great name though. Documentaries, and in these documentaries they're doing like 3 parts, which is like a 30-minute video, but splitting it up in 10-minute intervals. And I think that that's a good way to be able to develop that parasocial relationship.
And then obviously if there's, you could link it back to YouTube or whatever other platform and say, hey, if you want to see it all in one shot,
Exactly.
here's a full
The
video.
problem is, and this is, I'm completely off Chappel Roan right now. No, it's okay. It's okay. This is good. We're vibing. But the problem is that with TikTok, a lot of these people have to be able to get interest within the first like 5 seconds. Yeah. And it is so difficult. Like even on my TikTok, I think I have like 4,500 followers or something like that. And
You barely break 1,000 views.
barely break 1,000 views over there. And it's because I'm not the kind of person who can just be like, I don't know, like Chappel Roan tried to kill somebody. That's not what's happening. But anyway, guys, you know what I mean? Like, but that's what people do to get people engaged.
Misleading? No way.
The form of clickbait that takes place on TikTok is a lot more jarring because they really do have to get your attention, because otherwise you're scrolling. Do you get what I mean?
Anyway, back on track.
Anyway, back on Chappel Roan. So that's what started the drama. But what's recently happened is that Chappel Roan went on another podcast called Call Her Daddy. Now, a lot of people have a lot of feelings about Call Her Daddy. They feel like the girl who runs it, I think her name's Alex Earl. I think the girl who runs it, a lot of people just don't like her. They have like in-between feelings about her. But regardless of that, the Call Her Daddy podcast is possibly one of the most popular podcasts on Spotify, Apple Music, all across the board. One of the most popular. I think it's like number 2 most rated podcast.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
It's a huge podcast, especially for women.
Okay. Oh, right. That's probably why I've not heard of it.
Yeah, it is a huge podcast for women. And on there, basically, Chappel Roan said a few things that got people in their feelings. There was 2 communities. The first community was the mums, because she was saying that, you know, she's got friends of hers who've become parents, and since they've become parents, like, they hate their life. And honestly, that's anecdotal. That doesn't bother me as a mother at all. And I do understand that feeling of like losing your sense of self when you become a parent. That is definitely something that
You literally detach from your old self altogether as a parent.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like now, especially with the studio and stuff, I'm now developing like this sense of like, oh, this is who Paige is. I remember who she is now. I'm not just Fionn and Theodore's mother. Do you know what I mean?
And I think once the kids get to school age as well, it changes again.
Honestly, I love my children. I love my children to death. But I must say, I cannot wait for the kids to go to school. Like, for them both to just be in school every single day. So Theodore is going to be starting reception, which is kindergarten in America. He's going to be starting in September, which means I will have both kids gone for free, can I just say, because I'm paying for childcare at the moment. But for free for like 5 days a week. And it's a beautiful thing.
Just, you know, right now, just put me in a set of clouds. I'm in heaven. Just thinking about it.
Honestly, we love our children, but enough is enough. Enough is enough. So let's take a quick look at the Chappel Roan video that has been going viral. I'll play it for you so that you know what's going on.
I think it's also people expect me to play by different rules because I'm gay and I should be more politically correct about that, and I should actually be way more knowledgeable about it. And so I get asked a lot of fucking crazy questions that a lot of my peers would not get asked. And that's because I'm gay. And that's because, like, I have, like, my opinions, but that doesn't mean I'm, like, completely, like, I don't know everything about every topic I have opinions on. Like, I don't know everything about, like, being gay. Like, I don't know everything about being a woman. I don't know everything about fucking fashion or drag or performing. Like, I try to know everything I can, but, like, when I don't answer a question correctly, or, like, I don't acknowledge one community, it's like, how can I do it all? Like,
You
how
can't.
can these girls tour, write, perform, interview, sleep, eat, and fucking work out, and, like, how can they do it all and lead a team and be a boss and pay people and, like, and be, like, fucking so politically educated? It's
exhausting.
And it's also impossible. Also, why the fuck are you looking to me for some political answer? You think I have the fucking answer?
But you're like, listen to my song, bitch. Turn it up.
Like, I'm a pop star. I wish I had the answers. I wish the president was a pop star, but she's not.
Okay, so after hearing that, what are your thoughts?
I get where she's coming from.
What?
No, hear me out.
Okay, I'm a little bit gagged, I'm going to be honest.
This is the thing. We put a lot of scrutiny on rappers, singers, pop stars to be politically correct 24/7. Even yourself, you've come across this. When it comes to political views, people look to people that they look up to for their point of view. And then when they don't hear the same thing come out their mouth that they're expecting, they get angry with them.
Yeah, but she's saying the problem isn't that, like, I don't think that people should look at influencers, and I don't think that people should look at celebrities and people of public interest for their views on politics. Quite frankly, just gonna call a spade a spade. I think that that's probably the primary reason why a lot of people didn't vibe with Kamala Harris's campaign, because it became about who was saying what rather than what it was that she was actually saying.
Had all these people backing her, which really didn't mean anything. Like,
Which led to, unfortunately, now us having Trump.
well, not us, thank God.
No, well, not us, but now America having Trump, who said the things, who may not have been able to actually execute said things, but said the things that people wanted to hear. You understand what I mean? But it was all about Megan Thee Stallion, Glorilla, Beyonce, Snoop Dogg was for Trump, but yeah.
No, he did a show for Kamala right at the beginning.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought he didn't. Did he do music at Trump's inauguration or something?
Yeah, but there was a whole controversy behind it because he said whichever rapper's up there for Trump, blah blah blah, you're a sellout, you're this, you're that, and then he did it himself.
Yeah, but that was like from the previous campaign from 4 years ago. Yeah. Anyway, so I understand what she's saying in terms of you shouldn't be looking to celebrities for your thoughts and opinions. Don't.
How old is Chappel?
Chappel Roan, early 20s. Like,
okay, so she's still
23, 24.
She's still young then, isn't she? You know what I mean? And basically she's been propelled into stardom.
But here's where things get interesting. So Chappel Roan has been extremely vocal about trans rights, about the government, and even as far as her acceptance speech for the Grammys. Remember, we watched the Grammys together? In her acceptance speech, she was speaking about music executives and stuff not paying for healthcare for their artists. So while she was signed to a label for quite a prolonged period of time before she boomed, she had certain issues that happened with her health, and she had no health insurance.
Oh.
And all of these things should be mandated and regulated by the government. You understand what I mean? So she's been extremely vocal. She's also been extremely vocal when it came to Joe Biden and his campaign before Kamala Harris got involved. You know what I mean? So she's been extremely vocal. So let me play a video for you from a TikTok influencer who basically went through and ran down everything it is, or almost everything it is, that Chappel Roan has been extremely vocal about when it comes to politics. Meaning that essentially she set the standard, therefore she can't just say, I'm just a pop star. Like, for me, sorry, not we will watch the video, but for me, for her to turn around and say, I mean, how can anybody just like sit down, grab a mic, turn on lights, put a camera on, eat, and then be socially aware? Like, we all have to. You have a job, you have to keep up with politics.
Yeah.
I have a job, I have to keep up with politics.
To keep up with like 3 different countries of politics.
Yeah, we have to keep up to date with what is going on in our world. She's saying it's hard for her being a boss and being this pop star. Well, how about the several millions of Americans who've got 3 or 4 jobs and still have to keep up with politics?
Get that completely. Yeah. But also, we've had the same argument, haven't we? Not argument as such, but conversation about being a mum, a parent, being a house owner, looking after a house.
Politics should always be a constant. You have to know what's going on in the world around you for your own right.
If you don't have a platform, then it's never going to be an issue publicly for anybody.
Yeah, and I guess from my perspective, I've never been a person who's been shy about talking about my political views, as long as we don't get too deeply into politics.
I mean, we're not going to go about that.
God, y'all rip me a goddamn new one. Shit. Never again.
We thought we knew.
No. But, like, as long as we don't get too deep into politics, but it's quite clear, I think that a lot of people would agree that I'm very much liberally minded.
Yeah.
So people can gather where my thought process is, but I'm never going to be explicit like that in that way.
You listen to both sides of the argument either way. Always have done, because you like to know what everyone's point of view is.
How the fuck can I formulate my own liberal opinion and perspective if I don't know what the opposing perspective is? Then I'm just listening to an echo chamber of my own thoughts and never being challenged. And I just don't think that that's a smart thing to do. Not just with politics, but with anything. This is her speaking about various different political points of views it is that she has had over the years, meaning that Chappel Roan definitely set this bar.
Fuck Trump, for fucking real.
No, I'm not voting for Trump. I'm sorry that you fell for the clickbait. Literally know anything about me and for what I stand for, you know that this is not lip service, this is not virtue signaling, that my actions have always paved the way for my project and the people who really know me. The change she wants to see in the US is this election year, she says instantly, is trans rights. They cannot have cis people making decisions for trans people, period.
Then there's an article here that says, no, Chappel Roan is not voting for Trump, and yes, she's voting for Kamala Harris. And this was an article that was on the 25th of September, 2024.
It's brutal right now, but trans people have always existed, and they will forever exist, and they will never, no matter what happens, take trans joy away, and that has to be protected more than anything, because I would not be here without trans girls. So just know that pop music is thinking about you and cares about you. And I'm trying my best to really stand up for you in every way I can.
So she's already turned around and said that pop music is thinking about you. But then in the Call Her Daddy podcast, she's like, but I'm just a pop star. I'm just a pop star. Why are you expecting so much of me? So with this additional context now, do you feel like Chappel Roan was, she set the bar and she just kind of has to fucking deal with that now?
It's hard because I feel like she was wanting to do good by it all. Mm-hmm. But I feel like she's realised how toxic of a situation it can get.
Yeah.
I don't need this.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. It boils down to the conversation that people have before, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be black until it's time to be black, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Whereas everyone wants to stand up for trans rights until it gets heated discussions and hot and heavy, and everyone, nearly everyone.
Especially with this current administration right now.
Yeah.
Because with the current administration, it does affect trans rights quite heavily.
Very bad.
So if anything, she should be more vocal now than ever.
But I feel like it's all, obviously as well, people who stand up for trans rights are getting a lot of heat at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I feel like allies, I don't know about you, but I've noticed less allyship it for minorities and, in all aspects of minorities, trans people, gay people, black people, brown people, everything like that.
Yeah.
allyship has dropped off quite significantly.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, since Trump's come into power, a lot less people are speaking out openly about stuff because they're catching heat. They're catching shit from either side as well.
Yeah.
People don't want to put themselves in a firing line anymore because before let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Since Trump come into power, people are openly more racist across social media and in public.
Yeah.
When it happened before, when Trump was in power, it happened that time as well. The first time round he was in power.
Yeah.
Now it's happened again. But I feel like, I don't know. I get where she's coming from, but I feel like backpedaling is not the answer.
Yeah.
The way she's addressed it's not the answer.
Okay.
But I also feel like the way she's addressed it comes with the growth of being like
her naivety, because she is also so young.
She's still young. As much as she's in her 20s, she's still young.
Yeah,
There's still a lot of the world she's not seen yet. There's still a lot of things she hasn't come across.
The idea that somebody should have a formulated, strong political stance at that age is a lot, because it took me a long time to figure out where I fit.
Yeah. How many people do you know that change as well based on who's going to be coming into power?
I mean, if I have to keep it a buck and keep it a bean, was I even listening to politics and keeping an eye on everything when I was 23, 24?
What were we for? We was enjoying our best life. We had children.
I'm being a hypocrite too.
Exactly. But this is the thing. It doesn't affect you until it affects you.
Yeah.
And right now, because she's gaining notoriety, more and more people are looking at her, she's catching heat quicker. And you know what I mean? She unfortunately, she sat there going, how can I do this? How can I do that? Well, first of all, I doubt that she pays people directly. She's got management for that. So she's there going, how do you pay people? How do you do this? She has management. She has people that organise stuff for her. Surely she's not doing all that by herself.
No, she's not doing it all by herself. But I think it's like being in control of the ship is what she's saying.
Well, she's not, though.
Being in control of the whole ship.
She's not, though.
Yeah, she is to a degree, because it's her name on shit.
But it doesn't matter. She's an artist. She gets told by management what to do. She doesn't make decisions.
And not always. I would say that Chappel Roan is very, very involved with her own public image.
Not that much then. She needs to get some publicity training.
Well, that's a whole different conversation. Maybe she does need publicity training.
Because she's still very young and naive. Yeah. They probably need to direct her a bit more and say, when you get this kind of question, either stay clear of it, answer it very...
Yeah, she's very open.
But if being too open sometimes, you can shoot yourself in the foot.
100%. Well, that was the story on Chappel Roan and what people have been saying about Chappel Roan more recently. What have we got next up on today's hot concept?
Okay, from one pop star to another, Jojo Siwa.
Oh my god. Okay, so originally when I was doing this story, this was like a week ago. As you guys know, I've been recording this episode like 4 times now.
We've been recording for 2 weeks straight.
Like literally. I was supposed to be talking about her ticket prices for her tour.
Yeah, $900 or something.
Tour coming up, $900 for ticket prices. And I was basically just going to make the equivalence that Jennifer Lopez couldn't sell tickets, so what makes you think you're going to be able to sell these huge tickets? I feel like it's a cash grab. Forget all that, scratch all that. Jojo Siwa went into the Big Brother house, okay? She is on Celebrity Big Brother in the United Kingdom. We all know that did extremely well for Trisha Paytas. Had Trisha Paytas had not left Celebrity Big Brother, I maintain that she would have won.
I think she would have done. She was a favourite.
They loved her. Like, some of the best quotable moments came from Trisha Paytas in the house when she was like, men will cheat on you, they'll give you STDs, but pizza, it's for life.
I don't think anything can make anyone as happy as pizza makes me. Sex will give you STDs. Friendships are fucking fake. Relationships will cheat on you. Families will disown you. Pizza? That's forever.
Like that, like honestly, she was such a fucking gem in that show. And the British public, we just absolutely just adored her. And I genuinely...
This is the thing. You don't know that because you're behind closed doors.
Huh?
So she thought the British public... At one point, did she think they were booing her?
Dealing with her mental health issues at the time, and she felt like the British public were going to hate her. And then she found out that, no, we fucking adored you, and she fumbled big time. Big time.
She fumbled in a way that still helped her because it launched her a little bit. It gave her a little bit more.
I think it gave her a bit of a social boost, especially with probably a more European audience. Yeah.
Yeah, Jojo Siwa. She's in Celebrity Big Brother.
She's in Celebrity Big Brother. There is also another guy in Celebrity Big Brother, another American guy. His name is called Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rogue or Rogue. Yeah, is he like an old actor or something? Or?
Some kind of old actor, boxer. I don't know his past, his bag, and what he's been into.
It smells like old tobacco.
I'm going to be nice. I have some thoughts, but I'm going to be nice. He does.
He looks like, you know, like a cowboy kind of style.
Yeah, well, he's got himself into a bit of trouble more recently because of his homophobic language and conversation with Jojo Siwa. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show any clips because ITV are notorious for flagging anything that has anything to do with their shows. But just to give you a brief synopsis of what took place on the Big Brother show, Mickey Rourke was basically having a conversation with Jojo, and he basically made jokes about trying to turn Jojo straight.
Yeah.
And he said he was going to vote the lesbian out. Even if it was in jest, it was still really, really just in bad taste. He also said, I'm gonna get me a fag, I'm gonna smoke me a fag or something like that. And obviously we know in Britain we call cigarettes fags over here, so it's not like a weird term, but the way he was doing it was like kind of a nod to like, I know that this is acceptable here, so I'm saying it.
He's not British, so of course he was doing it. Yeah, he was doing it, definitely. It's like a jab.
For that reason. Because if I was to say, I'm going to go outside and smoke a fag right now, you wouldn't think anything of it. But the way he said it and him like looking at, nothing towards Jojo like that, it was clear what he was trying.
Well, everyone pulled him up on it in the house too.
And I love that level of solidarity that nobody was going to let him get away with that shit. And he did get reprimanded by Big Brother.
I need a fag. Not talking to you. I need a fag. Mickey, you can't say that.
We also had Jojo Siwa's girlfriend. They are Jojo Siwa's girlfriend.
Partner.
Is not binary. Is partner. Is it partner?
Because if they're non-binary, they don't identify as a girl.
Okay, so let's go with partner. So Jojo Siwa's partner has also been extremely vocal online about Mickey Rourke's behavior towards Jojo.
A lot of people want to know my thoughts on what Mickey Rourke, however the fuck you say his last name, my thoughts on his comments towards my partner Jojo on Big Brother. And quite frankly, it is beyond disgusting. And it's taken me many hours to even process what the fuck I just watched. Not only because that is the literal love of my life and I want to protect her at all costs, and I feel so helpless that I can't be there to not only comfort her, but to also lose it at that fucking weasel of a man. But secondly, take the fact out that I have a massive emotional stakes in his comments towards her. It is also just rooted in misogyny and violence. I don't know if anyone kind of put two and two together. I've obviously seen a lot of the comments calling out his homophobia, which, yes, but also his violent language. That clip that we saw, the 5-minute clip, which was the whole conversation, has so many fucking layers to it. It is crazy. Firstly, he asked her if she's into boys or girls. She answers that she is gay. He then proceeds to tell her that he's going to turn her straight if he's in the house long enough. She shuts it down. Once she shuts it down, he says he's going to tie her up. That is joke. That's what that is. Call it what it is. Then further, obviously, she shuts that down. His next comment towards her is about the fact Big Brother is a nomination show. Each housemates vote for each other out. His next joke thing that he says in front of her is that he's going to vote the lesbian out. He repeats that twice. So his next point of call, when he essentially puts himself on her, says I'm going to turn you straight. I'm going to tie you up. She shuts him down over and over again. He then goes, actually, I'm going to get rid of you, which is rooted in misogyny. If men deem you unfuckable, they have no use for you. He deemed her unfuckable in that moment and then went, okay, if the male gaze is not a part of this situation and I have no power over you sexually, which also, no offense, Mickey, you look like a fucking foot, so you don't stand a chance with anyone anyway because you're a fucking loser, then he's like, oh, well, then I'm going to bully you. You're not going to play into my creepy jokes. Okay, then I'm going to bully you and say that I don't want you here. And then he proceeds to call her a faggot. There are so many fucking layers to that interaction. It makes me feel sick to my stomach. Like, it's rooted in misogyny. It's rooted in patriarchy. It's got a bit of like incel-ness to it. And yes, it is also crazily homophobic. There is a young lesbian woman in the house, and that's who he fucking goes for, and that's who he wants to fucking vote out. I do feel a little bit disappointed that that hasn't kind of been an added level to the conversation. Yes, I'm glad that the production gave him a formal warning and told him what he said was homophobic, but that is dangerous, dangerous language. And obviously it is a TV show with cameras everywhere and security. And obviously, you know, we saw the beautiful Chris Hughes, which, thank you, Chris. Thank you for doing my job. I was very upset. And then when I saw him backing her, having her back and comforting her, it made me feel a little bit better, especially because this sounds really fucked up because he is a cis, straight, white man. And they're the kind of allies, unfortunately, I hate to say it, that we need in situations like this to stand up to violent, fucking misogynistic, homophobic men. So obviously I do feel like she is safe because of the environment of a TV show, but I am a little bit disappointed that it wasn't further called out. And I would genuinely be so disappointed if the public doesn't vote Mickey out. I don't give a fuck if you think he's entertaining. He's a pig. He's a pig. And he is a dangerous person. I would not want to be alone in a room with him, and I wouldn't want my fucking anyone to be alone in a room with him. He later apologized and said that he had a short fuse. Mate, that wasn't a short fuse. That's not a short fuse. You revealed yourself. You revealed the way you really think about people and about women. That's all that happened. And you feel a little bit ashamed because you got called out for it on a television show and you're a little bit fucking worried. Maybe instead, use that and say, oh, I got a short fuse. I'm funny. I'm old. Read a fucking book. Interrogate your fucking behavior and think about if you had a daughter or a sister or someone that you really loved that was a woman, would you leave them in a room alone with you?
So after Ricky Rourke got fuck's sake.
You want me to say it?
Okay. So after Mickey Rourke got reprimanded. That was so hard to say. Oh my God. Got reprimanded by Big Brother. He did apologize to Jojo. Jojo and him had a conversation. He started speaking about his vocabulary and things it is that he found acceptable to say and asking questions. And I have to say that I really fucking like Jojo.
You said this to me the other night when we were watching it.
I fucking like her. Oh my God. After Calm as a Bitch, I thought, oh my God, she's so fun. I found her just cringe and annoying. But she is cringe. I think she owns that.
Do you know what? I think it's just in front of cameras.
But when she's not aware of the cameras, she's a really fucking nice girl. She has a big heart because she didn't have to give him that grace, to give him that re-education of words it is that's acceptable to say, words that aren't acceptable to say. She was very open to understanding his ignorance and trying to work with him through that so he doesn't make the same mistakes again. No. Even if it hurt her feelings, because Jojo cried.
Yeah, she was upset.
She was visibly upset. So even if it hurt her feelings, she still, you know, took that moment to have a moment with him. And he was like, I don't want to have this conversation anymore. She goes, no, get to the good stuff. What else is it that you want to ask? Yeah. And that's the thing. People who come from a place of ignorance, where it's a place of they've never been associated with gay people, they've never been around, sometimes they just don't know what the right thing is to fucking say. No. And then they start stepping on eggshells because they're scared that they're going to say the wrong thing to hurt the trans person, to hurt the gay person, to hurt the drag queen. But he was softening and opening himself up to say, I have no understanding of this world. Explain, please help. And she was so willing to help because she didn't have to. And if she didn't, and nobody would have batted an eyelid because that is her prerogative. Because he was rude and disrespectful and quite frankly should have known better.
Yeah. It's okay to say drag?
Yeah, drag.
Yeah, it is drag. You can't say transvestite no more.
Transgender.
Transgender.
Yeah, transgender.
It gets confusing.
Anything is okay to say in context and intention. That's what matters. And if you say something wrong but you didn't know and you're open to hearing, all good. It's if you're saying something to...
Yeah, that word's that's like really bad. It's horrendous.
That's a word, just literally delete it from your inventory.
But that's not the thing that I want to talk about today because we found some video.
This morning when we were looking for...
Okay, you talk about it.
Okay, so we all know that Jojo Siwa came out as... Did she come out as gay?
Gay.
She openly came out as gay. She did the whole thing, you know. Lesbian. She was very, very vocal about it. Very upfront about it. But what did we see on social media this morning?
So
There's a guy in there called, is it Chris Hughes?
Chris Hughes, I think he was on The Only Way is Essex, so he's a reality TV star himself. A UK reality TV star. I don't watch that show, I don't know that guy.
Towie, Only Way is Essex.
I don't know who that man is.
Oh, I don't even recognise the name.
Not even a clue. How, honestly, the qualifications of celebrity in the UK is bars and out.
We don't have celebrities. We have people that are more known than others.
Yes, basically. But they've
Getting cozy.
like a little cozy.
But not even just like, cuddled up on the sofa.
Like, man was grabbing ass.
He was sharing a bed with her for a little bit.
He was stroking her back. She was giving him kisses.
Now, like, if you were Jojo's partner and you saw that,
Guys, if I did that on national, live and living color fucking television, you would be mad, bro.
I'd be mad. I'd feel embarrassed.
Embarrassed, right?
Because it's like it's not even like, when someone cheats on you, it's behind closed doors normally.
Yes,
But to do it in front of millions of people. But this is the thing. Jojo wasn't really sort of like pushing away or anything. She kind of, I don't know if it was she was uncomfortable that it happened, or she was comfortable with it to let it happen. Because she was also flirting back at some point.
It just feels like she was really enjoying the attention.
She was, but this is the thing. So there was a clip of her cuddled up in bed with him. He was stroking her back.
Yeah.
There was a clip where she came over to him to speak to him. She gave him a pretend kiss on each cheek, but she was.
There was this one moment where he like grazed his hand over her body, over her ass, up her hips, and I was like, that's a little too. That's a little too sexual. That's not friendly.
I don't know if Chris identifies as a straight male, but
I think he's cishet.
So this is the thing. It's not like it's it's a gay best friend kind of thing. It's more of a, because even a gay best friend wouldn't do that.
No, girl.
What I mean, you can't pass it off as that. But the thing is she? It's a confusing situation to have.
Here's the thing. We have seen Jojo Siwa's partner be extremely vocal. So now you got to remember this right now that we're talking about has literally been found out in like the last 12 hours.
Yeah, literally the video's posted 13 hours ago.
See what? Because Jojo Siwa's partner has been kind of doing like this little update of, what she's thinking about the episodes and all of that kind
What
of
they're
stuff.
thinking.
What they're thinking about the episodes.
Do I need to be the PC, please, here?
I appreciate it. But they've been giving their opinion of like how it is that they feel about each episode, and like when Mickey.
Are they updating on their own like social media then? Are they commenting? Because you said they were commenting quite a bit under people's videos.
No. They were commenting on their own TikTok.
Oh right, okay.
So they've been making TikTok videos about like their thoughts and their feelings about what's been going on with Jojo, and they were extremely vocal about Mickey Rourke and his complete and utter disrespect of Jojo.
Because they may be embarrassed about it.
I'm gonna be watching their profile real fucking close.
Notifications on.
Yeah, like, because what do you think about that?
Well, this is the thing. They look too comfortable together.
I'm not being weird by saying that, though, am I?
Like, I literally, they looked, like, when I say they, I mean Jojo Siwa and Chris looked too comfortable together. Because she was, like, cuddled up with, she was little spooning him, for fuck's sake. Like, you don't do that with your best friend.
I've been cozy with girlfriends, I've been cozy with gay friends, and I honestly have never been that cozy. I don't know, but all I know is I'm going to be watching Big Brother and keeping my beady eye on this. If you guys are interested in me giving like a weekly recap of what Jojo is doing on Big Brother, let me know and I'll get that done.
Now flashbacks to the Trisha Paytas with the mouth.
Back in the day when Trisha Paytas went into the Big Brother house, I did like a weekly update of Trisha Paytas. And we had like a whole intro.
It was pretty good, that.
If I've got it, I'll play it on the channel right now.
Shane had texted me sometime last week and told me about this video. Well, I think he thought I already had seen it. He was very encouraging. His message was very sweet. He said, you're in a happy place.
Okay, so what is next?
So, is it Clara Doja?
I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm going to call her Clara.
Okay, Clara.
Clara, but the last name is spelled D-O-A. I don't know what the correct way of pronouncing Doja.
Is it French?
Do.
It could be.
I have no idea.
Maybe OA silent, just do.
So she is a influencer, very much known on YouTube for her shorts videos, and she's basically made an entire career out of flat-chested pride. She's just like a skinny Asian young lady with a completely flat chest, like the little to no glutes.
Double A cup kind of thing.
We're talking don't ever need to wear a bra a day in their life kind of vibe.
You're kind of jealous of that though, innit?
Honestly, I'd live to have my boobs chopped off. Like, the moment that I have enough money to get myself a breast reduction, I am totally going to do that. So much weight, and I hate it, and I just want to be able to move freely, and exercising becomes difficult. So definitely want to be on her side of the world, but obviously everybody has insecurities about themselves. They have insecurities about their body, about the way it is that they look, and I just don't think that this young lady is any different. So what has happened is that she's made an entire career on YouTube Shorts is where I found her, but I don't know if she's big on TikTok or any other platforms. But she's made like a whole career out of flat-chested pride, skinny pride, being comfortable in your skin.
Is she very slim build as well then?
Extremely slim build.
Is she on the opposite side of being slim where it's unhealthy, or she's still healthy slim?
No, she's perfectly fine. Nothing unhealthy about her.
Sorry to ask, I've not seen this person.
We're not getting into like eating disorder realm or anything like that. Nothing like that. She's just a skinny girl with a flat chest, and her whole vibe on TikTok Shorts, and that's how I found her.
But her lifestyle now is that.
Yeah. Being confident in herself, being confident in her looks, and not feeling like any less of a woman purely because you have a flat chest, right? So, like, that was her whole thing. But recently, she's just come out out of nowhere and basically said, I've had a boob job.
Oh, shit.
So her whole audience, who have all been like flat-chested pride, yes, be prideful in ourselves, they are all screaming at her now. Her comment section is an absolute fucking shit show, Garrett.
It's like, that'd be like a plus-size influencer getting a weight loss surgery.
It happens. How many times has that happened? That the plus-size influencers made all of their money off being plus-size fat acceptance.
We are making money off it. Even when you had your weight loss surgery, how many of your plus-size friends said, I can't be your friend anymore?
I can't be your friend. I can't watch your content anymore. You're triggering to me. Because me, I'm making a choice for my personal health, which quite frankly is nobody else's motherfucking business. But me making that choice made them feel upset. So obviously I knew that that was going to happen. But what's happened in her comment section is an absolute shit show. Let's take a look at her video.
That's crazy.
She made a video on YouTube Short.
Was it a big increase?
I think it was like a fairly decently sized, like, you know, like some B cups. Like she.
Okay, so it's not like she's gone like, I've gone from nothing to like triple D's.
Yeah. So just to give you a
Yes, I did have a job.
Okay, so just to give you that's how she used to look.
She's very pretty.
Okay, so this is what she had to say about her deciding to get a boob job. And her...
You addressed it already?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She premiered her brand new set of boobs on April 1st.
Oh.
So a lot of people thought it was an April Fool's joke. And then, I think a day or two later, she posted another YouTube short saying, it's no longer April 1st and the boobs are still here. And people lost their shit. The internet was on fire. Girl, I don't think this woman has seen this many comments in her life.
Yes, I did have a boob job. I know this might come as a shock because my whole page used to be about loving my flat chest and being confident with it. I literally built my entire career and following around that. So why did I do it? Am I crazy? Was everything a lie? Was I secretly insecure this whole time and just use body positivity as a way to make money so I could finally afford a boob job? No, let me tell you the real reason why I did it. And it comes down to one word. Fun.
She said she got a boob job for fun. I shit you not. I shit you not. I shit you not. That was her actual reason.
Fun. F-U-N.
For fun. F-U-N. F-U-N. She got a boob job for fun.
Okay. Next topic. I'm done.
No. The internet is killing her. Well said. Let's get through this video and then we'll talk.
You're going to feel betrayed.
Hugely for fun, girl.
Fun?
I'd much rather her just say, listen, we all have our vices and our insecurities. And as much
some bigger titties, like
as much as I have tried to love my flat chest, you know, it is something that, you know, and if I have the means to, why fucking not?
Exactly.
Do you get what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with accepting yourself as you are, but also, if you have the means to change and you want to, fucking do it, girl. I would respect that more than saying, I got a boob job for fun. You went under the knife for fun? Girl, are you okay? Please be so fucking real. When I saw this, I was like, I have to talk about this. And I know that nobody's going to know who this girl is.
I don't know who she is, but that's crazy.
But girl, I have to talk. What do you mean you got a boob job for fun?
I know she's got an accent. Is English her first language as well?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I hope it comes out. I didn't mean fun. That's the wrong word to use.
Something, girl, because I have no idea.
For so long, I built this entire platform based on one mission, such as confidence. I was doing it for 6 years since 2019. I made over 900 videos on the topic. My mission for the longest time was I want to create content for my 16-year-old self and for all the girls who feel insecure like I did. And I really meant that. I poured my heart and soul into helping others feel normal, beautiful, and worthy. I became the face of the flat-chested body positivity community, and for the longest time, I loved it, but over time, I got bored. I started craving change. And the thing is, I know that as long as I kept my flat chest, I knew I could keep making content about it. The videos do so well, they bring in money, and people resonate with them. But I felt like I was staying in a comfort zone. It was safe, but it wasn't growth. And I wanted a shift in my content, in my message, and in how I express myself. I believe that whether you have big boobs, small boobs, flat chest, or medium-sized boob, it doesn't matter. They all equally beautiful. I've just had this look, this aesthetic, my whole life, and now I just want to see what the opposite feels like. For fun, for curiosity, for me. And yeah, I think it's pretty badass to do what no one expects of me. To show myself that I can do whatever the fuck I want without needing anyone's approval. That, to me, is true confidence. So no, I didn't betray what I stood for. At every point in my life, I lived in alignment with my truth. Before, I loved my flat chest. And now, I love my new chest. And if you're disappointed by my decision, I don't expect you to understand. Like, I understand and I respect how you feel. But I hope you know that your confidence and self-love are still yours to define. My flat chest literally gave me my dream life. And now, I'm simply stepping into a new chapter. One where I take life less seriously, have fun, and just do exactly what I want. Just like when I posted my very first YouTube video, do what you fucking love. We just don't give a fuck about what other people think and just go for our dream. That's always been my deepest value. Back then, I wanted to help flat-chested girls feel confident. But now, I want to inspire people to break free, to be bold, to be brave, to be unapologetic, and to truly not give a fuck about what others think. And of course, to have some fun. I'll share more in a long-form video, but for now, I just want to say thank you to everyone who understands and still supports me. May God bless you and everything you want to do. Love you so much. Bye.
For content. For fun.
I swear to God, if she opens an OnlyFans in the next week, we know why, okay?
A lot of people said that about her opening up an OnlyFans. I don't think that is the case. I think she just wanted a boob job. But I wish that she would just be honest with herself and not be honest.
Right? 6 years is a long time to make content on one subject.
That's literally all her content was about.
But so what's probably happened is over the years of her viewing herself over and over again, her viewpoint's probably changed and she didn't know how to address it maybe. But to say for fun...
And for content, because she was like, well, I've been doing this for 6 years, so I just kind of wanted to change. And it's like, you don't get a boob job for fun.
But this is the thing. So, like you said before, and like she just said, a lot of women looked up to her as like a matriarch of flat-chestedness in the beauty community kind of thing.
Became the biggest flat-chested body positivity content creator.
A double negative, biggest flat-chested.
You know what I mean? But she was like the biggest content creator within that niche.
Then, obviously, other flat-chested women look up to her and go, yeah, I can be proud of it. But then, to come out and have a boob job, it's like, just being like, but you...
Here's the thing, like, how... She said that she was making content for her 16-year-old self. How are the 16-year-olds going to feel now that they see her? Like, I understand that's such a hard expectation to put on another human being, right?
It's saying, you can be flat-chested, unless you have money, then get a boob job.
No, I don't think it's a case of that. I think that I think it's something that she wanted for herself, and that is okay.
But she has to be honest with people about it.
Honest. Just be honest and say, you know, if you have the means to change, go for it. And if you want to change, go for it. There's body positivity and acceptance in one's body is just accepting yourself for who you are, right? So if that comes with wanting change, then also accept the fact that you want change.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to love your body. And I think also loving your body through the moments where it's, you know, not the standard of beauty, loving your body through that can make you get to a point that you love yourself enough to make these changes for yourself. That's what I loved about the plus size community, is that I loved myself at my biggest, so that when I got smaller, I still had a level of strong love and sense of self in me, that it didn't matter what size I was. And now I've put on weight since then, not as big as I used to be, but I've put on weight since then, and I'm still loving myself, my body, and who I am.
I love it too.
Even if I have, my bad days, but we all do, And I just wish she was just a little bit more honest.
Get a breastplate then. Why commit to such a big change?
Oh, do you know what? That's actually a very good point. I didn't even think about that. Why not get a breastplate?
Why commit to such a big change? Exactly.
That's a commit. You're on fire. That is such a good point.
Huge commitment going under the knife for fun. That's like me saying, you know what? I don't want my left testicle anymore. I'm just gonna cut it off for fun. No.
Nobody does that. No, you're right. She could have got. There's definitely breast enhancements that you can get that are not as permanent.
Exactly.
Wow. You know what? You ate with that.
The fact she brought back her first video.
She got it.
To kind of go, I told you this at the beginning, bitch.
I told you at the beginning.
Why are you complaining? Right at the beginning, I said that this is what this is going to be.
This is like when I used to have my intro as Once Upon a Time, Not Long Ago, I was a hoe. And I was admitting it. And y'all didn't fucking know. And now y'all know I used to be an escort. I was a big old hoe back in the day, but it is what it is.
Oh, whoa, hold up. You what?
Listen, you turned this hoe into a housewife.
Hey.
Hey. So the comments are absolutely diabolical, as you can expect. Somebody says, bruh, I got a boob job for fun. This is more of an alarming message for me than I got a boob job because I was insecure. What the fuck do you mean that you underwent surgery for fun? Somebody else says, the gaslighting is insane. Oh my Lord. Somebody else says, to the younger girls here, believe me, you are beautiful the way you are. You do not need to take these internet personalities as a role model. Plastic surgeries are not for fun. Somebody else says, to the young girls, please do not see her as an influence. You shouldn't change your body just for fun, and surgery can be dangerous. Somebody says, ha ha ha, you guys are so mean. Don't hate her. She hates herself enough.
That's crazy.
And this is just the top comments. I've literally not even gone through them all, but her comments for this YouTube short video is absolutely diabolical. Do you think that people are fair to feel extremely disappointed by her?
Of course they are. To a certain point, it's like it's a farm for money for her. Mm-hmm. To a certain point, she posted this whole thing about love yourself, flat chested, and then obviously we all know YouTube Shorts and YouTube views, as much as it don't make money, makes money because there's adverts and YouTube Premium
videos on her main channel. I know her from Shorts, and she has like 4.2 million.
They're going to feel conned because they feel like they're just being used to get money to give her the lifestyle she wants.
Yeah.
Whereas if she set it out as plain as day, people may have even backed it. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it would.
It's like those TikTok videos where people say, "Can you stay a minute and watch this so I can get so and so to do so and so with?"
Yeah.
People are being honest.
Yeah. Like, watch this video after 60 seconds so I can get paid.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm here.
It's like the homeless people.
Yeah.
With a sign saying, I need $1 for beer.
I saw a video on TikTok where a girl was like, I am in an abusive household with my dad. Please watch this video for 60 seconds so I can save enough money to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
And people sat there and said, I'm sat here, I'm waiting.
That's a little bit different than get plastic surgery.
Well, I mean, yeah, but what I'm saying is, here's the thing though, I'm not as hugely familiar with her as a content creator. I am subscribed to her. I do see her on my feed. I did enjoy her flat-chested confidence videos, but I don't like follow her like that. So I don't know whether she's ever been vocal on whether she ever would get plastic surgery should the opportunity present itself.
As a big-chested woman, did you relate to the content?
I just love body acceptance videos, period. It could be any version of body acceptance. It could be
like see people happy in themselves.
Yeah, happy in themselves and celebrating themselves regardless, So for me, as a plus-size woman with a huge breast, I didn't see her and feel like I couldn't relate. I saw her and felt like I could relate. Where you're in a body that, might not be the one that you're most comfortable or happy with or the one that you want, but you still have to exist and enjoy life through that body. You only get one. So why spend all of your time hating the one that you just got assigned? You might as well just fucking live in it.
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, if you don't like your body, I love your body. I'm just saying, like.
Thanks. Stop it. Later.
Yeah. You can sign up for the extra content. I can't help but look at you today and think just how beautiful you're looking as well for the first episode.
Thank you. I do try. Well, this is courtesy of today's sponsor, my very first sponsor on the Paige Christie show, which is Juvia's Place. So if you are a beauty lover, you guys will definitely know, especially if you watch my main channel, that I have been a huge fan of Juvia's Place since the dawn of time. Pretty much 99.9% of all of my makeup in my home is Juvia's Place. And every time I deviate and go to another company, you know what? They always bring me right back in with a brand new product. And Juvia's Place have been absolutely no exception to that. They constantly are bringing out brand new products, brand new formulations, pigmentations. And when we're talking about pigment, I don't think there is any makeup company that is touching Juvia's Place in the pigmentation department. Their pigments are vibrant, are gorgeous, and they are very well known for their eyeshadows, but they are also known for loads of various different face and complexion products. For instance, today I am wearing the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer. I've got 2 different colors on my under eye today. I use their concealers on a daily. I also am wearing the Juvia's Place lip gloss right now, as well as the lipstick as well. I will leave all of the colors and all of the links and all of the Juvia's Place products it is that I am using in the description box down below. But just know, if you ever see me on camera and I've got a full face of beat, there is going to be at least one item on my face that is Juvia's Place. But today we are looking at about like 4 or 5 different items. So if you guys would like to purchase anything from Juvia's Place, definitely go ahead and check the link in the description box down below. www.juviasplace.com. They also have another annex to their website, which is Juvia Skin. I use a lot of Juvia Skin products as well. One of my favorite things to use, especially before bed, before I go to sleep, is the Juvia Skin niacinamide wipes. I like to use that on my face in order to help with my hyperpigmentation, and they've been helping me keep my hyperpigmentation under control for over a year at this point. And also, if I had to make another recommendation, the Juvia's Place moisturizer, the little purple moisturizer, oh my god, it is so good, and I definitely need to restock on that because it is just the perfect barrier cream to put on after you've used all of your skincare products. So definitely go and check out Juvia's Skin as well as Juvia's Place. So that's www.juviasplace.com as well as www.juviaskin.com. Thank you so much to Juvia's Place and Juvia's Skin for sponsoring today's video. And let's get into the next segment. What are we looking at?
It looks like next up we've got a double D. Doja and Drake.
Doja and Drake. Okay, I am so interested to hear what your thoughts are on this.
I don't even know what this is. Can you lay it out for me?
Okay, so Apple Music have a podcast. It's called The Wrap Up. And it basically contains Ebro from the Breakfast Club, the mixed race guy.
True, yeah.
So Ebro from the Breakfast Club. There's another guy called Eddie. I don't know what he does, but he's extremely vocal on this podcast. And another lady who's like a music journalist, right? And they all talk about new music that's coming up in rap and what's been going on, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, they were talking about all the new albums that have come out, what they've listened to, what they've enjoyed, and, you know, what they rate high and what they think is not so great and all that kind of stuff. And they came across the conversation of Doja Cat.
What about her?
Let's play the clip.
Okay.
So that you get like a understanding. Yeah, because last time I gave you information without context and I feel like that was completely unfair.
Yeah, because then I went in and were like, yeah, this is my point of view. And then you were like, give me the rest of it. I was like, okay.
Oh, no, the bitch is crazy. Yeah. So let me bring up this video. It's on YouTube. So originally they were talking about Drake's new single, Nokia. You know, that baby girl. I do like it. It's not that bad. I do like it.
The only part on it that's good is the sample. That's it.
I do like it. I do like the song.
I don't like Drake in general.
Oh, I have to say, I have been putting that "Give Me a Hug" on repeat though. Yes.
Yeah, but it gives me a "give me a hug, bro" kind of vibe.
Fake intimidation. Oh, I really liked it. Listen, I love me some Kendrick, and I'll be a Kendrick stan until I die, and I will never support anything it is that Drake is involved in that capacity. But that song was the man makes hits.
I'll give him that.
Give him that. Culture vulture.
Big time. I was about to say, he needs to pick a lane.
Yeah. I mean, can I just say, before people turn around and say, why is this white man talking about culture vulture? He is stolen from British rap so much from some of our biggest artists, JME, Skepta, Gigs, Wretch 32. He has stolen from so many rap artists in the UK. So that's what he's talking about when he's talking about culture vulture. He's not talking about black and white. Just so people are aware, okay? Because I don't want people to be like, oh, why is this white man talking about culture vulture?
I understand the context of culture vulture, and I understand that.
Yeah, but no,
I know I don't have a space to talk on it as such.
When it comes to British rap, though, I feel very personally about that because he stole from a lot of people.
Paige, he needs to pick a lane and stick to it.
Mm-hmm. I get the combination.
Combination. Being versatile with your music, I get that. I understand that it's nice to show that you can do anything, but don't steal from other people.
They started going through Drake's Nokia track, and then they slowly divulged into Doja Cat. So this is what it is that they had to say, and this is how the conversation started.
Eddie, looking forward to this? Does this hit at the gym?
Nah, not really. Like,
so wait, Doja's not popping up for you?
She cool. Like, she's really good at music. She just don't. I don't know, man.
Really?
Something about. I don't know, man. She just don't. Like, she does rap well. Like, she raps well. She does everything musically. She just don't. It seemed off with her in hip hop, man. It's like, yeah, you do the music part. Well, it's the conversation we always have. Like, there's rap and then there's hip hop. And Doja can rap, and we seen old videos where she's breakdancing. Like, she does the music stuff, right? But
you don't like the demonic stuff that threw you off.
The racial chat room showing feet.
Like, the race there back in the day.
Yeah, she don't really. You know what I'm trying to say without trying to say it. So I don't really. She's whatever.
She ain't black enough.
I didn't say that.
She's too light skinned.
You can say that. I didn't say that.
When you say she does it more, does what more? The pop stuff? The singing stuff?
Nah, like the accusations of you ain't really in this. You're in this when it's convenient for you.
Well, so we met her as an R&B artist, I think.
Right, she was never really a rapper.
She wasn't really a rapper. She was an R&B artist.
And at first it was like comedy rap even, or comedy
Well, the Cow Moo shit was like a spoofy thing, but even
and
before
it's bangers.
that...
And the music's good, like I understand that, but we're in 2025, we're in a different place, man. And if you want to dabble in this hip-hop culture, but also... I mean, y'all know the accusations are in those chat rooms were. Like,
well, even when she was chat room showing feet.
Yeah, even when she was wearing the shirt with the
Nazi comedian dude.
I'm not gonna say it just because I'm on this platform and pretend all that's all good with me, because it's not.
It's not.
2025 is wild for us as a people. And if you can get away with it to a degree, and you want to dabble in this world, but then you also culturally want to do a lot of things that are the polar opposite of what this hip hop thing should be, then I ain't with it.
Like, that's a real thing for black folks to be like, yo, we not quite sure. Especially when you're a mixed kid. Yeah, like, it's a real thing, bro. I know from example. Exactly. I lived it, I walk it. Where black people want to know where you at, bro.
Where are you with it?
Where are you with the shit,
Where are you
man?
with it?
Interesting story that she shared was she grew up, her mother and her grandmother worked with John Coltrane's wife and grew up in a jazz commune. Where it was like, that's why the music thing is so serious with her, and she's so dope because she grew up around all these like jazz artists, and she's like...
But I just also don't know like what growing up in a commune does to a developing mixed kid.
Yeah, she probably these mixed kids, these light skins be struggling out here, bro. It's tough, man. It's tough, bro. They're not, especially when they're not really grounded in black American culture. Like,
it doesn't sound like she grew up grounded in black American culture.
Listen, and I think the difference between Drake and a Doja, if we're talking about mixed kids, is Drake isn't putting on gang slang and like strip club street essence in her rapping.
Oh, Doja Cat ain't.
Doja Cat, what did I say?
You said Drake, but yes, that's true.
But I think the critique on Drake as it came to that is that world is a specific black American experience, for better or for worse.
But also, too, we can't draw a direct line to Drake in legit racist-ish like we can with her. So it's like...
No, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I said that
There's two different times. Yeah, there's two different times. And
yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Look, bro, I'm not here to preach to nobody about certain things. Y'all can like what y'all want to like. I'm not mad. If you want to listen to Doja Cat, do your thing. I just have issues with it. Like, I
need to know where she at. I just don't know
where you at with it.
Okay, so that was the conversation it is that they had about Doja Cat. I need to just make some things abundantly clear before I even start. First of all, Doja Cat has not been accused of being a PDF file or having any affinities to younger people in any capacity. I feel like we need to set that apart from the jump, because that was something that wasn't set apart. The other thing is, Drake has never been connected to any racial ish ever. I'm sorry, do you remember this picture?
The blackface picture?
Like, the dude was dressed up as a minstrel as a mixed race boy. Like, come on. I feel like that was also extremely unfair. And I know I'm coming from a place as a person who is a Doja fan, so I get that people are going to take my take as extremely biased in that front, which I completely understand. And I probably am biased. I'm not even going to sit there and trip with you and say that I'm not. I probably am biased. But what I will say is there is a distinct difference between rap and hip hop. Even when it comes to British rap, we consider British rap, rhyme, jungle music, garage, funky house, all of that kind of stuff are the things that we think are quintessentially British rap. Yeah. As British rap, we don't consider it hip hop. You understand what I mean? And I feel like hip hop is a cultural thing. I feel like hip hop is quintessentially Black American, right? I feel like hip hop is African American. I feel like it's, when I think of hip hop, I think of East Coast, I think of Chi-Town, I think of West Coast, I think of New York, I think of the Bronx, I think of Compton, I think of Inglewood, I think of Atlanta, I think of Florida, I think of all of those places, St. Louis, all of those different places. And when I think of hip hop and what it means to be a hip hop artist, I think when it comes to Doja, with her upbringing, especially with her being on that commune, she grew up in Los Angeles, in California, in some kind of Buddhist commune. And it was like she learned loads of like various different dances, like Asian dancing, like Indian inspired.
It was a jazz artist commune.
Yeah, there was jazz music as well. It was like, it was very.
That's the first I've heard of that, I'll be honest.
Oh, I did talk about it in my Doja Cat video, but it's a very strange upbringing to have had. And I think that also is kind of detached from the culture of Black American hip hop, right? And also with the fact that she was raised by a white mother, that's always going to be an issue. We've had this conversation in private a billion times before.
Being black enough kind of thing, yeah.
All of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so there was also that as well. But I think that when I think about Doja Cat, I see her as a rap artist. I don't necessarily see her as hip-hop, and I agree with them there.
Yeah.
But also, what Eddie was saying about she only wants to fuck with hip-hop when it benefits her, like when she wants to, because she went to hip hop a little bit more with her Scarlet album, and now it seems with her new album V that's about to come out, she's like more going back into her, pop rap roots, right? And I just don't feel like this is fair, because also another person who we would consider quintessentially hip hop, who also was not born in America, is Nicki Minaj, right? She's from Trinidad. She was born in Trinidad.
I didn't know she was born there. I thought she was born in Bronx.
Jamaica, Queens is where she's from. She's not from Queens. She is born in Trinidad. So in terms of being a quote-unquote African-American, she actually isn't an African-American in that sense. She's a Black American, but she's not an African-American in that sense, right? So, but are we forgetting the whole hiatus that Nicki Minaj took where she was doing Starships? Pound the Alarm.
She was doing dance music.
Where she was doing that song with David Guetta. Phoebe, who's Pippa Bryson? 2 years ago, I renewed my license. Anyway, why'd I start my verse like that? We don't know. We don't know why you started your verse like that. We have absolutely no idea. It wasn't hip hop. None of that was hip hop. But nobody puts those same level of stipulations on Nicki Minaj that they do on Doja Cat. And it's almost as if, because Doja Cat is biracial, she's not black, it's not black enough. And I'm just so tired, especially as a parent of mixed race children. I'm so tired of the rhetoric that these kids aren't black enough. They are just as much white as they are black, and they have the privilege, I guess, to be able to choose, which part they feel more closer to. But it doesn't make them any less black. But I do agree that Doja is rap and she isn't hip hop. I get that. Because I think hip hop is more than just a style of rapping. It is a culture.
Yeah, they're taking people on face value here.
Yeah.
Look a certain way doesn't mean a certain thing.
Yeah.
Judging a book by the cover.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily judging a book by its cover. I think also the chat room situation doesn't
help her case at all. I get that.
Yeah, and people felt like she's pandering to the white male gaze.
How long ago was that?
Not crazy long. I have to give her babe, we're talking like 4 years ago.
No, it's not.
Some of these things were happening while she was still...
The pandemic?
Yes, girl.
That was before she was famous, wasn't it? The chat room
No, Moo came out in the pandemic.
Moo came out before the pandemic.
No, it did not. Moo, 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 moo. I just see now he's going to check. He's going to check on me because he thinks I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. I'm not a cat. I just say no. Like moo, 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 moo. Bitch, I'm too smooth. I'm not in the mood.
Came out in 2018.
Okay, so around 2018.
Okay, so before the pandemic, like I said.
Okay, so you're right. So it was before the pandemic. Okay, all right, I'll let you fucking have that, Cara. Okay, so it was before the pandemic, but it was around that time period. I genuinely don't see the pandemic as that long ago. I don't see 2018 as that long ago. So a lot of it was taking place there. And she was seen in these chat rooms again more recently.
Oh, really?
Within like the past 2 years, since she's had her hair shaved, she went back into those tiny chat rooms. So there's a lot of people who are upset. Also, she wore that, what's his name? Sam? You know the guy who has that fish tank show or something? Sam. He's some neo-Nazi racist comedian who a lot of the edgelord commentators seem to enjoy. And it's
I don't really follow neo-Nazi people, so...
And it seems as if Doja Cat is very much in tune with that edgelord commentary style of YouTube and content creation. She seems to have been very much involved in that space for quite some time. So I don't believe what she said when she said she didn't know who that Sam dude was. I don't believe her for a second. I just think that she didn't think it was a huge deal. And it was a huge deal because a lot of people don't agree with what this man stands for. For you to wear him on a t-shirt, it's kind of wild. So I do understand where people are coming from, but this ended up being a situation where Doja Cat ended up making a tweet and delete.
Ooh.
So this is what Doja Cat tweeted and deleted 11 days ago. She says, "I'm more angry than you know and incredibly disappointed." And that was on the 3rd of the 4th, 2025.
Is that all she said? Yeah. Nothing, no other context?
No other context.
But when was it? When was the podcast posted then?
The podcast came out on the 2nd and she posted that on the 3rd.
So we're tying two and two together based off timeline. Yeah.
We also have to remember that for Apple Music, Ebro did an exclusive interview with Doja Cat around the time of her release of her album Scarlet.
Did they stuck up to her on that then?
Ebro, I think he was a little bit soft on a lot of his questions.
Okay.
He didn't seem to pry as much as I've seen him pry with other people like Cardi B and stuff like that.
Was it like, do you reckon it was like two sides of a coin when it came to this compared to her first interview?
I think what Doja expected was for Ebro to have her back a little bit more because he knew her. Yeah. And he's been very close to her. Around the time that Doja Cat came out, because this was another thing that I found out, around the time that Doja Cat came out with Scarlet, before Scarlet was released, he actually got to hear Scarlet before the rest of the world.
Oh, okay.
And he said that Scarlet was real rap.
Oh, shit.
Right? That Doja Cat was exhibiting some real rap, and what we're going to be hearing from Doja is some real rap. So, but he didn't back down because it was Eddie who said that he didn't see her as real rap, and he didn't do anything to defend Doja. I think that that's what Doja's upset about. I think she's upset that he never took her side at all and let him just say his shit.
He kind of want there to defend or even say, hang on a minute though, what about the so-and-so? Yeah. Has Eddie always disliked Doja, do you think?
No, I think that, I don't know who Eddie is or like what his importance is or why he has this platform to be able to say anything like that. But what I will say is I know that Ebro can be a huge flip-flop.
Okay.
And this is not like...
kind of goes with the narrative of what's going on at the time.
Obscene behaviour for me. This is what I've kind of come to expect from Ebro as a commentator. So why she's shocked and surprised and confused, I will never know. Because Ebro looks out for Ebro first and foremost above anything else. But that was the conversation it is that they had, and it just started this whole discourse on social media about if Doja Cat really qualifies as real rap, as hip hop, and if she is that kind of an artist. And I would just argue that going into pop and making yourself more palatable to a much wider audience doesn't make you any less hip hop. I would not consider the commercial success of Megan Thee Stallion to unqualify her as real rap or hip hop. So same goes for Cardi B, same goes for Nicki Minaj, same goes for Flo Milli, same goes for Lotto, same goes for any of the people, women in rap in general. I think a lot of them do have to delve into pop in order to generate a much larger fan base. I feel like that is the game that a lot of women have to play in hip hop.
So you got to pander to the masses.
Like there are some drill rappers who can just do straight drill and never deviate from drill for a day in their career because they're a man. If there is a drill rapper who's a woman, they have to get a little bit pop with it. And that's just the way that the industry works, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it's always been that way for women artists in general. Unless you are a pop artist who's a female, you're going to have this massive audience. Yeah. If you're a rap artist who's a female, men don't take you seriously.
100%. So for me, this conversation was really like tone deaf and really dead. But apparently, because I didn't even realize this, So apparently they actually spoke about the previous podcast, because I guess they caught a lot of heat because it did go viral on social media. So they said, responding to Doja Cat's tweet about last week's episode. So I'm just going to take a quick look at that because...
Last week, there was we moved around the internet's heavy because we had a conversation about Doja Cat. Doja Cat's fans obviously was upset. I think Doja Cat was obviously, a little bit hurt too, because things that were framed, at least by people who know the truth about them, there were things talked about on the show that are quote-unquote lies. But the reason it was talked about is because when I brought her up as being excited about her new album, V, I think it's pronounced, I asked Eddie if he was excited about Doja Cat. And you said...
it's kind of, and what happened was...
And I said why. I started to probe why. In me probing why, it became evident that it wasn't the music that had you
And I repeated several times, she makes good music, she makes great music, and I said that, and I've said a million, and I'm not backtracking what I said, let's be clear, because people do this thing where they see us start talking and try to clarify what we're saying, and they go, oh, you're backpedaling. I am not backpedaling. I stand on what I said, but pay attention
Wait, what
to what
exactly
I said.
did you say? Because I don't even know if you actually said anything. The comedian on the shirt, the chat rooms when she was fucking 15 years old, or however old she was, which was like 15 years ago, that people bring up these chat rooms and showing feet and all this stuff, whether they were truth or lies. Whether they're truth or lies, the fact is they have shaped a narrative about an artist that I think if we went around the room, we all find extremely talented and a great contributor to what we love, which is both R&B, hip-hop, and pop. Right? We all agree with that. But the reason I was probing the question to Eddie was because it has shaped the way people view her. That's a fact. Even when they like the music. So when you say, yo, Doja's dropping a new album, V, and I'm me personally excited based on the fact that I was excited about the last album. The last album had dope shit on it, and specifically hip-hop shit. Why wouldn't we all, and the album before that had dope pop, mainstream R&B shit on it. Why wouldn't we also be excited about this? Your lack of excitement, Eddie, is about the narrative. I just wanted to be clear about that. This wasn't about her talent. This wasn't about any of that. This was specifically about when you say her name, it is associated with some controversy that is almost, and to her fans' point, unfair. Right? Because people are either holding on to narratives that were created that she never addressed, or like specifically the comedian who was a Nazi, she came and we sat down and she was like, yo, I didn't know, my bad, I ain't on that type of time. But that shit doesn't go as far as the jokes.
Okay. Well, she did say she was angry and incredibly disappointed. Just to lead with that. But, I mean, so the fans did say that you guys are spreading misinformation. They would love for us to clear it up. But as Ibra just clarified, you were stating facts about things that actually happened, but she said that. She says, I don't want to stand up for myself in regards to all of these lies being told, because to be honest, I don't think it'll make a difference. I've just learned to let ignorance be and let people learn and use their own discernment. She said, if you watch the news, she put us in quotes for that one, and believe it all, what kind of person does that make you?
But you know what? That's her right. She can be mad, she can be offended, she can feel however she feels. Her fans can be defensive, and that's okay. The reality of it is, I don't get on this platform to do a hot take to be controversial. Honestly, I'm just trying to get on here and have fun, to be perfectly clear with you, but I also want to tell my truth and how I feel about stuff. And you're never gonna point to me and be like, hey, how do you feel about somebody, especially when it's, heavier topics, and I'm gonna be dismissive of the fact of how I truly feel about stuff. So if people are mad, they've never heard me say a million positive things about her, and from this point on, whenever we bring up Doja Cat, I know what the comments are gonna say, like, Eddie this, Eddie that. But if you watch the clip, I was alluding to it, I was trying not to really say it, but with that narrative out there, when she comes up, it's always like this weird, like, and she's not the only one. There's a million artists, male, female, everything in between, that when you bring them up, there's this weird, like, it is what it is.
Well, okay, so that is what they had to say. Do you think that they backtracked at all, or do you think that they just clarified?
I think they clarified a little bit, but I feel like he should have been saying some of this shit to start with. I feel like he was very silent on the matter.
Do you think that the issue that Doja is having right now is that he was not forthcoming to back her up, probably as another mixed race person?
So I don't know what this guy looks like. So is he a mixed race person himself?
Ibra is mixed race.
So he should have known where he was coming from then. He should have been from the first jump when he was even prodding the question of, is she too white kind of thing or whatever he said. I can't remember what the exact words.
Not black enough, and he goes, I can't say that, you can say that, is what the other guy said.
Yeah, but he should have then expanded on that point and be like, no, she is, but she's had this upbringing, this is different, and it's a time, like, how many times have...
He reads to me like the mixed race person who, when he's around other black people, is more willing to assimilate to blackness in order for them to be accepted in that space. That's what it's given. So as long as Doja was the outsider, it meant that he stayed on the inside. And I think that that's something that a lot of mixed race people can understand and feel when it comes to Doja Cat. Like, when you're around other people, who you expect to have your back in that regard, and they just don't have your back. And I think she expected a little bit more from him. And with them having the shared experience of them both being mixed race, she expected for somebody else who was mixed race to stand up for her proximity to blackness and her ability to be black. There are still people who think that Doja Cat, because she has a white mother, shouldn't say the N-word in her songs.
It's ridiculous, that.
I mean, it's a conversation. That's a whole different conversation when it comes to rap and rap music having the N-word in it in general. So that is a whole different conversation. But I feel like she expected more from him, and I feel like also because she knows him, she even got him the ability to be able to preview her album before it even went out to the masses. And I mean, we all know how leaks work and all that kind of stuff. So that's a real big thing for an artist to give like their beloved to somebody else before the world.
Trusting.
That is hugely trusting. So I think that she just expected more from him.
Trusting to one person, and then when the point of the fact where she thought she could trust on him to stand up for her in a conversation, it wasn't there. Yeah, but like you said as well, he was kind of like sitting back and letting almost like, you know, the black people talk. Yeah. Because he probably didn't think he's allowed to speak in that situation.
I mean, that could be also another situation. Like, as the mixed race person, can you really overspeak the black people when they're talking about black culture?
Yeah.
Oh,
and to the whole point of, are you black enough?
Are you black enough? Yeah. Well, as far as I am concerned, regardless of whether you're mixed race, black, I am, whether you believe or prescribe, you know, one drop rule or whatever, if you're mixed with a little bit of black, trust and believe somebody at some point, whether it's to your face or behind your back, has called you with the N-word. And as far as I'm concerned, if you have ever had that experience happen to you, you are black enough to me. That's how I feel. If you are a person where that experience of being outed, an outsider, due to your race, your ethnicity, the way it is that you present, how brown your skin is, and you've had that level of discrimination, to me, you're black enough, and that'll always be the way it is. If you're white passing, you've never had that experience, maybe not. But if you are a person who visually represents and you look at that person, they look like, then you're black enough to me. That's how I see it. You know? But anyway, with that regard, I think we're at the end of the episode. Oh my God, I can't believe we actually did this. Oh, I'm so happy. How do you feel about being here on the podcast with me? Do you feel comfortable?
You have to cut all this now. It's like, I'm joking. I've enjoyed it. I think, obviously, I've had a shift in my work rota, and I think this would be a nice thing for us to do on my day off. Yeah. I've enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. Well, anyway, that is about it. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the Paige Christie show. This is episode 1. We're going to be doing this weekly. So if you get this episode, there will be another episode on the following week on the exact same day. What day I'm dropping this, we'll find out. But that will be the day. That will be the day that we will post the Paige Christie show. So definitely stay tuned. Keep it locked over here on this channel for more episodes of the Paige Christie show. If you have anything it is that you guys would like to suggest for things it is and topics it is that you would like for us to discuss, definitely go ahead and stick it in the comment section down below, and we will definitely try our best to take a look at it also. But definitely go check out our Patreon. We have free tiers as well as paid for tiers. I am going to be uploading onto Patreon more. Hopefully, I'm thinking what I'm going to do, and I haven't actually said this to you yet, but I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing like some pre-shows, like as we're setting up ready for the show, and I'm just going to be talking my shit and hopefully, you know, answering some questions, discussing things and creating more dialogue. I really do want to try my best and hopefully be able to build up the Patreon, because I want you guys to be able to support what it is that we are doing over here. I'd also like to say a massive thank you to Juvia's Place for sponsoring today's podcast. It is so amazing to start a podcast off brand new and fresh and have a sponsor who is willing to support you on this new venture. Thank you to Chi and the team at Juvia's Place for constantly supporting all of my ventures. I truly do appreciate it. And until next time, you beautiful, amazing, badass bitches, it's the Paige Christie Show. Ay, the British girl who has tea. What Paige Christie Show. We don't spill tea, we drink it. Bye.
Yeah.